shout out to Hoop Shark, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Shark. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jordan. Shout out to Hoop
Jordan.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to Straight No Chaser Podcast.
Year number 11, is that correct? Year number 11? Year number 11?
Year number 11, yes. Hoop Jargon is into year 11 of existence, man. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out.
Viva la Hoop Jargon.
Viva Hoop Jargon, baby. So, yeah, man, we back at it. Darren will be coming a little late, y'all, man. Welcome to the Straight No Chaser Cowboys Podcast. Thank y'all for checking out. Last episode, y'all showed up and showed out our recap against the Washington, where they come from, whatever they call themselves, the team over there. You guys showed up and showed out on that one, man. We approaching 100 views on that one, so that's dope because this is a new developer show, and y'all liking the product, obviously. So we're gonna keep doing that for you, man. Rich, what you got for us when we get started?
Man, I'm so happy to start the new year off and close out 2020, 2021, I should say. Cliff got to enjoy his burger last week.
Unknown burger, but I'll take it.
After many weeks of disappointment, so it was good to see that everything clicked. Like this was the first complete game. So if you were a pitcher in baseball, this is the night that they had their stuff, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Offense looked great. Even though they didn't run the ball, the crazy sound, they didn't run the ball particularly well. They ran the balls situationally well. They were able to pick up short yardage first downs, control the tempo, control the clock. Offensive line looked good without Tyron Smith, I should add. They did a good job, and the receivers did an outstanding job making big plays, huge plays. Amari Cooper.
Mr. Toe Tap himself.
Right, Mr. Toe Tap. Out there looking like Bojangles on that side.
Man. I was going to get him to do the dance up to 2 in the morning.
And the defense, as crazy as this sounds, this was, by any other NFL player standards, it would have been a good game. But by Micah Parsons' standards, it wasn't a Micah Parsons game. It was everybody else. It was Demarcus Lawrence. It was Kazee. It was, all the other guys contributing to make plays. Diggs got another pick. And then our boy Corey Clement on special teams with the huge block on the punt.
Absolutely.
It was a complete game. From the time they got off the bus to the time that they took a shower and got back on the bus, they did. I have no complaints, as it pertains to last week.
Zero, man. And shout out to April Renee on there talking about something. I'll be tuning in while I'm on the Peloton. There we go. Get those spins in. Get those spins. Get that workout in.
Right.
Spinning Game Sports. Friend of the show says, start 22 off with a bang.
Yes, exactly. Sir.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think what we're seeing now is that infectious personality that Micah Parsons has put on our defense. I mean, now everybody, you better bet your bottom dollar in that locker room. They've noticed what he's been doing, from week 1 to 16. Now they want in on it because, dog, every team I played for that was worth anything. When you saw one of your boys doing well, you like, man, hold on, I gotta get into this action too. Yeah, it's a feeding frenzy.
Y'all stepping out, and you see your boy, dressed up, to the T. You got to step your stuff up too. You can't.
You got to step up a little bit at least.
Right,
on, man.
So it's the same thing, man.
It's the same thing, and that's where with the benefit of bringing a guy in like a Micah Parsons that they call them culture changes. You come in and you do stuff the right way, and it comes from going from like, this little dude right here, shut up, to like, okay, yeah, all right. So let's play the right way.
It's amazing to take over as the leader of a locker room when you're a rookie.
Rookie year, that's crazy.
This is not peak proud. This is not the best we're gonna see from Micah Parsons. This is what I'm trying to get right to understand. This is the beginning. This is the first layer. He hadn't even shed his skin.
That's the first layer. And peep this. Who's thanking him more? Who's thanking that Lucky Stars more right now than Dan Quinn? Like, this is literally what he was trying to do last year with those old heads they brought in who had eventually had to boot off the team because they weren't buying in. Right? So now you got like Skip Bayless. I hate to quote Skip Bayless, on Cowboy stuff. No, Skip Bayless ain't as bad as some people say, but I hate to. I don't want to be this kind of thing.
Sell books and get followers and likes and stuff like that.
But 11 for him is what he
says. He's a situational idiot.
Yeah,
when it's convenient for him, and when it makes sense to draw attention, then he goes to the dumb stuff. But he knows football. He just chooses to act a complete jackass sometimes when it's convenient, when it's good for business.
I can see that. Who else is like that? A lot of people, probably a lot of brothers won't agree. What's that dude? Jason Whitlock is kind of like that. Jason Whitlock is a flash in the pan guy. Sometimes he is very astute, very on point. Then he'll go left. It's like, what are you talking about? But then sometimes he'd be like really on point. So So Micah Parsons coming in was just a godsend for the Cowboys, man. Again, Dan Quinn should be thanking his lucky stars because again, that buy-in approach that everybody all in, hard-nosed defense, work pail approach is there now. You ain't got guys doing their own thing because you got a guy who came in. That's all he knows is Dan Quinn. That's all he knows is that system, and everybody else is down because they see it works. I mean, that's with anything in life. When people see something works, you generally get more participation, you get more buy-in. And so I got to give Micah Parsons all the credit for turning our well, not all the credit, but a big chunk of turning our personality down. Like our defense plays like our offense. It's crazy.
They asked the kid straight up. They said, they compared his numbers to Lawrence Taylor's rookie numbers, and like everything is like right on par with Lawrence Taylor's rookie season. And he was like, no, don't compare me to Lawrence Taylor. No, I got 139 more sacks to go. When I get there, then you can compare me. Like, that's his mindset.
That's awesome because it's hard for young dudes to stay humble, especially with that much success that quick.
Right.
Yeah. I love that, man. You generally, that's not what Cowboys players do.
Right.
Especially not rookies. Like, Dez, it was just hard to get him off the streets.
Mm-hmm.
That was our problem. Like, it wasn't him playing well. It was just getting him right where he would stop doing dumb stuff. They had
to hire security agents to basically be his father. So he would go out here and do dumb stuff. You don't have that problem with Micah Parsons. You got a kid who genuinely, with all his heart, loves the game of football. And that's rare. That's a rare thing.
Absolutely. D Brown, what's up, brother?
What up, y'all? What up, man?
What's up,
everybody?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to my guys. Happy New Year, everybody in the chat. A little technical difficulties, but I'm here now.
There you go.
What's happening?
There you go. Yeah, man, we're just talking a little bit about how Micah Parsons changed the culture defensively, and now the defense is actually a strength of ours. Them playing more or less like offense, and and I was just saying nobody's thinking that more than Dan Quinn, man. That's what the culture he tried to build last year that wasn't working with the old heads, and you came in, you brought in guys. Who they bring in Curse this year, and then it's like people kind of scratching their head.
Curse, Keanu Neal.
Yeah, he wanted fits for the defense, like a hybrid safety linebacker guys, and because he know what he wants to run. And now you're seeing it benefit in a major way, bringing in Micah Parsons. Everybody wants to meet his level. So yeah, any comments you got on that before we move forward?
Yeah, man, just real quick. It's cool to see that a lot of the coordinator attention has been put on the beat for the Cowboys offensive prowess, and his name's been dropped in a bunch of opportunities. But it's cool to see Dan Quinn start to get his flowers a little bit for the season in the last couple of weeks, primarily because the defense has performed as well as it has. And I love that he took his name. I don't know what that ultimately means, but I love that he took his name immediately out of the Jaguars job consideration. Because I genuinely think because of the situations he's been a part of, man, the dude looks around the room and he's like, hey, man, I got something, And starting with that beast, number 11. But, man, it just seems like it's just, man, light years from the Mike Nolan debacle, doesn't it? From, just guys look, because, like, not everybody is new on the defense. Let's be clear with that. So it's definitely something to be attributed to Dan Quinn and what he's done and what he's instilled. He did bring in some pieces and what have you, but even the guys that were here last year, because you couldn't replace all of them, they're playing better. I mean, by and large, we get on Anthony Brown, but he's played better.
He's playing well.
He's played better. And I think Gregory's taken another step. Gregory was in the flashes last year, but he's taken another step. The short sample we've had of Demarcus Lawrence. I mean, Demarcus Lawrence is like one of the best 3 or 4 week all pros I'm saying. You know what
let me say this real quick because you cooking.
Yeah.
Demarcus Lawrence is found like another rabbit now. I think it's hard for guys at top echelon who aren't self-starters to kind of find a proverbial mental rabbit. I think Micah has served for that to push him to where he should have been 3 years ago. This is what we thought he was supposed to have been already.
Right. I totally agree, man. I think that's a great point you make, man. I think that youngster, because I was going to land the plane talking about him and how he's been the bell cow for this attitude, this identity that the Dan Quinn defense has. Man, I think I heard a little bit of that when I popped on. Man, Micah Parsons, I think is literally, and this is when you know this guy is not only just doing it on the field, but it's his attitude, it's his energy. I think it's permeated throughout that entire defensive unit, man, because everybody seems like they want to make a play.
Yes.
Everybody, wherever they are, man, that everybody is making a concerted effort to make a play, and we have not had that, as Cowboy fans to watch since the '90s Cowboys. Let's keep that a buck. Demarcus Ware was a damn beast. We know that.
Yeah.
But he didn't quite have that infectious energy,
right?
In my opinion, that permeated throughout the team, and you can see the talent,
right?
Like you could with Parsons early on. But everybody wants to make a play, and everybody gets hyped for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Play. So that's the value of what this kid has brought to this team, man. It has been absolutely fabulous to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a real life take on that. And shout out to the Pendleton Studios saying first time view with great format. Appreciate that, man.
Hey, hold on, man, real quick. That's my man, Byron Pendleton. We went to high school together. Yeah. So, man, that's my man, little bro.
That's love, man.
Appreciate that, man. That's love. Appreciate you popping on, bro.
Absolutely.
That's love right there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I just want to say, man, that what you just described reminds me of how my high school team was. We ended up being my senior year the number 10 team in Texas, Eisenhower. Which is in Houston. Hood Houston, you know what I'm saying? But we were really good. Shout out to Between the Game Sports. He was on that team as well. And we went to the game before the state tournament. But I remember, we had an infectious defensive culture. And I got to give my coach a lot of credit for that. He made us, really buy into taking charges and diving on the floor. Like, if you did, you got your running time taken off. And we used to just really just go. We act like somebody dunked on somebody when you took a charge. Right, that was our culture, and these all black kids. So you don't see that. You do not see that.
Right.
But we used to when it got so it was so funny. Our first scrimmage we played against North Shore, which y'all know North Shore in Houston, that's a factory for success.
Yep.
We were taking so many charges that people in the stands talking about we were flopping. No, we was literally taking solid charges, and they kept calling them, and they just never seen nothing like that because we was. Oh, he got one. I'm about to give me a charge. Hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was infectious, man.
You want to be the next guy to make a play, man. And that is something I think Micah Parsons has gone throughout, man. Even the unsung guys, the Carlos Watkins, the Odiggy Zuas, you know what I'm saying, the Terrell Basham, Lawrence Armstrong, all those guys. He's
everybody playing.
The whole team, man. He's infecting the whole team, man. I love it.
Oh, we got a Minnie Davis sighting. Minnie Davis in the show. Minnie. Hey.
It's surprising because I can look at the little stuff, like the fact that you got a freestanding and ongoing bet between the offense and the defense to see who's going to score. I mean, come on, man! The defense is hey, we want to keep this thing going. We want to infect you guys on the other side of the ball too, and I think that kind of helped dig them out of that funk a little bit too. Having that culture is inherent accountability. Instead of saying, "Hey man, you guys need to get off your ass and do this," let's have some friendly competition within the team and let's push the hell out of each other, man. When you practice well and you have that mindset and you're focused and everybody's trying to drive and trying to push each other, it makes everything better. So I love the culture right now.
Yeah, I love you nailed it, Rich, with the inherent accountability. I love that internal bet, they are literally pushing each other to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's all right, man, we gonna go out and make play. Man, what y'all gonna do? And they just pushing each other, man, and they bringing each other up, and then you see it manifest itself on the field, man. Because I don't think it was a coincidence that that bet and that whole situation made the news like it did, and then you go out and see this offense, which has been in a funk for about 5-6 weeks, go out and play the way that they did after a month and a half of really head scratching football after they were so good for the first 6-7 weeks of the season. So, man, whatever it takes, and the fact that they're all buying in, again, a faction and an identity thing that we've not seen from the Cowboys team. Even some of the ones that had success, to a large degree, they didn't quite have this camaraderie. They didn't quite have this unity, and this attitude going into the game, man. So I hope it carries. I know we're gonna talk about today's contest. I hope it carries through to today and into the playoffs, man, because I think this team can do something. I really do think this team can do something.
There you go. Man, I just got to point out the fact that there's nobody talking about that part of the, at least I haven't heard it, talking about that part of the dynamic of how infectious the defense is, because it's like you said, it's a self-accountability, self-performance driven thing. And as a coach, that's when you know you did your job. You can sit back and your guys are policing themselves, holding themselves to standards. You did your job. Now you can sit back and chill now because they know what to do now. They know expectation.
Yeah, this is Dan Quinn. Come to the conference room. We need to talk. We put something on that check, man, because he's the guy but it starts from him. He's the policymaker on that side of the ball.
Absolutely.
And this thing is cooking. I mean, these guys are bought in, and let's be clear, they got talent. Don't get me wrong, I'll start with Parsons, Lawrence, Gregory, obviously, Trayvon, whatever. And they got talent. But this isn't, 2000 Ravens, 85 Bears, like the great Tampa defensive team, or whatever, Pittsburgh defense or whatever. I mean, this defense still has some marked holes in it, man, but guys are buying in. Everybody wants to make a play. So that starts from the top, man. So good to see Quinn getting his flowers from this show, and really kind of natural, man, because he deserves it. He really deserves it.
Absolutely, man. April Ray says, I just watched the documentary on Bill Belichick. He's big on coaching the team to celebrate every tackle and play. I'm telling you, man, whether people understand this or not, praise, it gives you like endorphin boosts in your mind. And I don't want to go too nerdy on this podcast, but people like to be acknowledged. People like that. I'm telling you, people like it. That's why people be on Instagram looking for likes and stuff. It gives you like little endorphin boost. So I know people say Bill Belichick is more of a browbeater, which he is in public, but you better believe inside he knows human psychology. He knows that you have to build people up, give them praise.
On the sidelines after a play.
Huh?
Right.
Well, he's not stoic on the sidelines after a play, though, to your point.
Exactly.
Watch the sidelines when they make a play. He's a guy out there popping upside the helmet, giving an attaboy or whatever, man. He's just as quick to
do show love his way.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, he might not give you nothing in the press conference, but he shows his team love. So
I'm sure So I played for a guy like that named Danny Casper, man. He just got fired from Texas State over some, racial stuff, potentially. But that's how he was, though. He's from that Greg Popovich coaching tree. And I remember he was like, he those kind of guys explain to you. He's like, because most people don't know how to take that kind of love. It's tough love. But he was like, man, listen, son, if I stop talking to you, that means I don't think you shit.
I don't care.
Worry when I stop talking to you.
Right.
I was just like, okay. I was a freshman. Like I wouldn't.
The worst form of communication you can get from a coach.
No communication.
That means he done with you. He don't believe in you no more.
You don't exist.
Yeah. You don't exist.
You don't exist.
And you won't be around much longer.
You won't.
You'll
when
get
the coach
Jalen
is smiling to you.
Absolutely.
You get that.
I want to say this too. Today's show is sponsored by No Damn Body. Hey, I want to have your company.
We're winging it.
Whatever you have going, man, we're gonna have you highlight the whole show. I'm gonna have a graphic for you. So if you want to be a sponsor for the show, let me know. You can hit me up on Instagram, on Hoop Jargon. You can hit me up on any social media platform. We can get the stuff ironed out. But yeah, man. So y'all want to be a part of this movement?
In the place.
What'd you say?
Put your face in the place.
The face in the place. And we'll probably make a social media thing just for this show. This show's gonna be, man. This
Season 2 gonna be.
I'm happy to be a part of this.
Y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, we're gonna have pros on here like weekly. It's coming. Trust me. All right. So Terrence Ford says, "Happy New Year's, fellas. I appreciate you.
Happy New Year.
Jay in the building. Let's see, fellas. Pendleton says, fellas, y'all have done your homework. Professionally hear and see sports analysts that know what they're talking about and have the facts to back it up.
That's love, man. I appreciate that, bro. That's love. That's what this show is all about. That's what the name of this show was born of, that spirit, man. So that's we don't take that lightly, man. I really appreciate that.
That's
really
love right there. Great
comment.
One of the most
commonly overused phrases nowadays is real talk. we don't bullshit with that. It's real talk.
Real
And
talk.
if we don't know
Real
it,
talk.
we don't say it.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you're going to get the pure, uncut, raw here on Straight No Chaser because we don't go places that we don't know.
Yeah,
but when we do know, we go and we go deep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and we're not afraid of the uncomfortable topic either.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of situations, pick the medium. Man, they like to stay in the comfortable lane if it seems to like rub like my man Rich says, affiliate the wrong way. Not about that here, man. It's like we said in the intro, man. There's no cut, no ice, room temperature. That's what it is, man. we gonna get it out. So that's good to see and good to read that those that are rocking with us are acknowledging that, man. That lets you know we on the right path. We doing our thing.
Absolutely. And Minnie Davis drives that point home well. Humans love being acknowledged, and that's the key to building a great team. Boom.
Yes, sir.
Boom.
Bingo.
Nice little capstone on that.
Bingo.
Absolutely. See, y'all hit that like button as we transition into preparing for week 16 against those Arizona Cardinals. Trying to step up the graphics out here.
I like that.
So,
I like that.
appreciate it. I'm trying to step it up, man. Y'all inspire me to keep it going, man.
Yes. Get better every week.
Every week, man. Every week. So let's talk about it, man. We know Arizona's kind of been sputtering lately. I think they have four losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the insights? I mean, because we just talked about getting up for like other teammates. Arizona gonna get up for this game. I don't care what nobody say.
No doubt. This is homecoming for Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
He won the state championship in that stadium as a high schooler. He won a bowl game there as a college football quarterback. This is like another home for him. He's a Texas-born, Texas-bred, and some might even say the greatest high school quarterback in Texas football history. It's one of those things that like you just have a little extra level of energy coming back home, playing. You're gonna have your family there and all your old high school teammates, your old college teammates there. So he's got extra motivation today. But what he doesn't have is number 10. DeAndre Hopkins, the world-beaten, pie-eating. It is something to lose a guy of that caliber. And I know that he's only one guy, but he is like a offensive package in cleats by himself. He creates so many problems for opposing defenses, and without him, they're not quite the same. And you can see the results for themselves. Since he's been gone, their offense has not been the same. They have not been able to run the football the same. Play action don't work the same. RPO don't work the same. They're just not that team anymore. So I'm not saying that we should take them lightly. Of course not. They still got a lot of talent on that team.
Sure.
But they lost one hell of a piece with Hopkins out.
Yeah, I mean, he's bailed the Texans out how many times?
Right.
How many quarterbacks?
Right.
I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, because I want the Texans to be 0-16 every year.
Real quick. In life.
Yeah, life. Yeah. I want to shoe him in every year, no wins.
In life.
And they're not even my rivals. I just don't like them.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Just don't like them. I'm from Houston.
And speaking of culture, I noticed from covering the Texans, Hopkins is a locker room culture magnet, man. Like everything he does, ignore all the BS that you heard in the media. And I tore in a couple of media personalities who try to claim that Hopkins was late. That is bull. That dude lived in the stadium. I saw it myself. Before practice, he's out there on the jugs machine. After practice, he's out there running routes, doing sprints, doing something. He was one of the first guys in the locker room, one of the last guys to leave every single freaking day. So all this crap that y'all heard about Hopkins and his work ethic is bull. So and it affects everyone else on the team. It was nothing to drive by on Kirby Drive. You can see their gym through the windows. You see him and some other receivers in there working out on their off day. So anybody that says that he had the wrong mentality, that's a bunch of bull. They got rid of him because he didn't fit the quote unquote culture that they're trying to build there, which I think is absolute foolishness. You're not going to have a locker room full of choir guys kissing babies and saving kittens from trees. He's a football player. You need football players to win football games.
Especially for a non-story franchise. Like, who wants to come to Texas?
Yeah, man. I wanted to book in something that Rich brought up in terms, well, actually, in YouTube clip on like how big the loss is and how it's contributed to their offensive goals.
Before you go, let me do this real quick with Minnie's comment, and I think this is a good one. I want you to cook without uninterrupted. So you guys should definitely come back and do a recap immediately after the game one of these days. And we working on getting that together, getting the logistics
post game.
Yeah, we like y'all like these. Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. There.
Let's see, man. Yeah. That when you lose a cat like him, you know everything changes. I mean, we've seen it in small doses, even with Mark here, because because he's the guy he's the guy in the pattern that dictates coverage. Do what you do with your safety and all of that. So it affects them being able to effectively run the football. It affects them how they cover, out in the route. I mean, the RPO, well, the pass option, when you look at that pass option, it's typically him. So on a lot of those plays. So if you take those things away and you can better know how they're going to attack you and you don't have to worry about number 10, yeah, you're going to struggle. And they struggle mightily. Hopefully the Cowboys keep them struggling today and bring the energy that they brought last week on both sides, in all three phases. And if they do that, I think they have a fantastic shot of getting this game. Arizona looks like a real formidable deal, probably the first 10 weeks of the season. But, hey, man, we talk about all the time in the show. Don't get too up on the win. Don't jump off the ledge when they lose because the season takes its shape and things happen. And it's well-intended and all these things that happen. There's a lot of things that happen beyond your control. And when they happen, you got to fight through it. And it opens doors and opportunities for other teams, i.e. the Cowboys, i.e. the Rams, what have you, because, the Cardinals were looking like that team. Now, it looks like the road may lead through Green Bay to get to the Super Bowl. So you just never know how things can turn, when you lose a franchise player or what have you, unfortunately for the Cardinals. But, hey, that's a deal for the Cowboys. So when these situations or opportunities present themselves, you got to take advantage. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the game. And that's why, I think this thing is starting to really line up for Dallas. Not from the fan perspective. Just look at the dynamics of what's happened with the other teams that are vying for contention for the NFC. It's kind of lining up for Dallas, man. And today needs to be an extension of taking advantage of that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's definitely stirred up, man. Shout out to Reggie Tolliver, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, fella.
Happy New Year, my brother. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So it's just like what we've been saying all week. I mean, all season long. Taking care of business, man. Handle what you can control. And right now, again, the hierarchy is shaking out. It looked like us in Green Bay at the top of that NFC mountain, as it were. And we just got to keep seeing it through, see the project through. Take care of business today. Because, I mean, Arizona, this could be their linchpin to get right back in that conversing. Being at the top of the NFC, they're still up there.
Big game today, man, because there's a lot of positioning at stake with this game. Make no mistake, man. This isn't like, well, this is a couple games before the playoffs. I mean, everybody's kind of right there, still in that conversation for the seeding in the NFC, side of the playoffs. So there's a lot on this game. So I would hope that message, and I'm sure it has been emphasized throughout the Cowboys practice week because there's a lot on this game. And, as we've seen and we hear every year, you want to have momentum going into the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Guess what Arizona doesn't have right now?
Momentum.
Yeah, we don't. And in Dallas, with a team that you could conceivably face again, you don't want to be that trigger or that springboard to give them momentum going into the playoffs, man. You want to basically keep them down while they're in a tailspin. So there's a lot on this game. And personally, on the Kyler Murray front, he's a Allen High School, Dallas area kid. I knew his pops growing up, and so his matter of fact, his uncle, went to high school with my younger brother. He went to them two White. My man from Pendleton Studios knows that. They were in school there at the same time. So a lot of cool personal ties to me personally watching this game. And I don't know if y'all remember, man, but when they talked about the Cowboys being on the schedule and actually talked to Kyler about being a Cowboys fan. And he said that basically he wasn't because the Cowboys, and I quote, were always ass.
Always ass. Yeah.
They were always ass. I'm like, okay. So, a little personal personal bulletin board.
You can't argue against him because he was right
and his
throughout most of his childhood. Cowboys were ass.
Complete ass. So it just makes me add a little spice to it, which already a big matchup.
Little billboard material. They call it.
There you go. There you go. So local boy comes home, wasn't a fan of the local team, because they were ass or whatever. I mean, he has a little spice. I'm with it. I'm here for it.
We shall see. No love, man. Today at one, was it game the 3:30 game?
Yeah, we got a 2:30 game today.
Yeah. So we'll see if you can back that up a little collar. We'll see. Yep. April 8th, again, caps on their point home. This is a game definitely to play our talent and not play down to our teammate opponent. Yeah. Handle business.
You gotta handle your business. You guys got to, because like Rick said, Arizona's still a talented team. And their trigger man is a very dangerous cat. I mean, he's one of those cats who can make plays that a lot of quarterbacks cannot. He's got some, and from the technical side of things, they need to keep him in the pocket, particularly when Hopkins is out, because when he gets on the edge and does the improvisational thing, he's as good as anybody in the league. So with his feet and, he's got the big arm, he can get it downfield. So from the technical side, get upfield on those edges, keep him in that pocket, and make life hell for him as much as you possibly can. So they ought to be respected. But you need to step on their neck while they're down. And you continue this momentum from last week on into this week, man, going into the playoffs.
Step on their necks like we did the Giants. The little Giants, we need to do everybody like that. I need to see more of that. I didn't know what I was looking at for a moment. Go ahead,
those of us who remember a couple of years ago how Kyler Murray came in there and torched the Cowboys, I hope they didn't forget that. The good news is we're not the same team. We have a new mindset, and we got number 11. So expect to see a hell of a lot of situations where you got 11 looking in that backfield, and he's spying on Kyler Murray, and he's going to go where Murray goes. So I expect to see him play a little bit less off the line today. Put him in, drop him, and this is why you have this wonderful tool. You drop him back in that middle linebacker spot, and his job is to make sure that Kyler Murray does not get away.
Yeah. And what's live about that, Rich? I think that's a great point. I totally agree with you because here's where you really see the versatility of a Michael Parsons and just how dynamic this young kid is, because you can do that. Think about it. If you assign him basically to go get on the edge and rush the passer, obviously we've seen him do that. 13 sacks later. But he can also, you can plant him in the middle, spot Kyler Murray, because he has the speed to close the gaps on a guy who's already really quick to make that play and contain Cowboys Murray from killing you with his feet. So that's a terrific weapon to have. And I'm
it's
glad
the ultimate counterweight.
It really is. So
counterweight. Yep.
And the thing about it, we've seen it. He's going to embrace the role.
Right.
Like he enthusiastically embraces anything y'all ask him to do. You want him to cover a receiver out of the backfield? Recover receiver downfield? No problem. You want him to cover tight end? No problem.
No problem.
No problem. You want me to get on his edge and rush the pass? No problem. I can do all that.
Swiss Army knife.
That's the Swiss Army knife. That's it, brother. That's it, man. And the blades got Ginzu edges on.
Man, the blades gonna cut you.
Man.
Blades gonna cut, man. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, man. But I think you're there. I think you're gonna see a lot of spy action, because that's what you got a game plan for. You got a game plan for Kyler Murray, making plays on you against you, I should say, on the edges. And we gotta counter that with that ultimate weapon, number 11. So it's gonna be fun.
And we have Gregory and Lawrence back, so we have enough on the front line to create pressure without Micah, so that he can. I want you to focus on. Matter of fact, I want Micah Parsons to go to my Kyler Murray's hotel room and stand outside the door and follow his ass. Get on the bus, sit next to him. He go to get something to drink in Starbucks. You in line behind his ass.
Yeah.
He stop at McDonald's. You in line with him. He go to the post office. You take the stamp and put it on his envelope. Follow his ass of time from now to the time he get on the plane and take his ass back to Arizona. That's your job today, Micah Parsons.
I love it.
Follow his ass. Be everywhere he go.
I would love to see Randy Gregory lay down next to him.
I want you to outpace his shadow.
That's funny as hell.
Yep, exactly. Meet him in the parking lot. He go to his mama's house. You sitting there at the table when he walk in the door. Hey, we're waiting on you.
I like this.
He want to open champagne and I got the bottle open right here. What else? Yeah.
Anticipate all his moves.
Everything.
All of it.
And I like the comment Penitent Studio says as well. Hoop Jargon, hit me up. Let's talk about TV production and sponsorship opportunities. So cool.
Yes, indeed.
So Darren, I will
Yes,
get you after the show and we'll make that work. Appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, appreciate that, Pan. Appreciate that. Man.
That.
This is good stuff.
Yes.
So
we can be sponsored by some damn body. Next season.
Some damn body.
Right now, no damn body. It's sponsored by this great show y'all get.
No damn body is some damn body.
Yeah. All right. So, I want to say, too, Connor's been running the ball well lately for the Cardinals as well, man. So we do need to make sure we don't fall back into that hole where we giving that good old that P up the middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we try to keep it as family friendly as we can. That's not the word I want to use, but we need to make sure we shore up that middle, that A gap, gashing runs. We don't do that. This shouldn't be Connor's coming out party because he actually ran well last week. So we got to make sure we addressing that too because I know it's very collar centric of what we're talking about, but they do have a sufficient run game as well. And with anything, you let them get enough yards to start off. It'll turn into a day.
We have Keanu Neal is out today. He's on the COVID list. So, unfortunately, that means for us that we're going to be, this is coming, relying on Mr. Vander elsewhere. So Keanu Neal is out today.
Okay.
When I saw that news drop, I had that same tinge of regret. I was like, oh God. But where I'm a temper that is with the fact that Neville Gallimore is back and we can have it in the middle of the line, so that even allows Vander elsewhere to be somewhere and make a play. Because he's getting a lot of push in the middle of that line. The way Demarcus Lawrence is playing down the line against the run, and we can have it as well. So I think to temper the loss of a guy like Keanu Neal, who's played well for Dallas all year, and to help stymie that run game this week. Because again, you don't want to. That's the early momentum that you want to take away and kind of make them one-dimensional, particularly with the D-Hop being out. But if they can establish anything in the run game that sets up play action, and that sets up pause and lets Tyler do his thing. So looking for Neville Gallimore, Adiki Zur, guys like that, man, really looking for that front line to flex again this week to stop that run game, man, and control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. That's something we've been preaching week in and week out. Us controlling that defensive line. That's what we do. That's the secret to the sauce. Not the Trayvon Diggs necessarily as a solo act back there, or Michael Parsons as a solo act. Controlling that defensive line has been what we've been doing, and that is the bedrock of a good defense. Sorry.
Yeah. That rotation. Is that rotation? Is that defensive line rotation? Is this affiliate sounding to ask the question? Because I don't ever want to sound like affiliate, but is the Cowboys defensive line rotation? I don't say it's the best. Among the best in football right now?
I say you're there in the conversation.
Okay.
Because you have so much depth there. You have so many different wrinkles. And I've even seen them go with the 5-2 look. Man, they got so many things. Like I bet Dan Quinn is probably giddy right now because he's got so many things. He's like a mad scientist, and he's got all type of chemicals and crap that he can put in his laboratory to make, his magic formula. That's probably why he's not interested in the Jacksonville job. He already told him to go to hell. I'm not even interested in interviewing with him. Here to work with. I'm not going to go to a junior college team and get fired in 2 years or 3 years because it sucks. So he's got a hell of a lot to work with, and then we're going to have a little bit of cap relief next year. I think that they're going to make some moves next year also, and then possibly, Will McClay, man. We owe that man a beer, like real talk.
No, a case of scotch.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
A case of Macallan.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You know that liquor that they said was lost in the Titanic in the barrels? Like somebody needs to go down there and dive and
Scuba
get that shit and just give him one of those barrels. That's what he deserved.
There you go.
He deserved the good shit that's been aged for like 150 years. That's what he
deserved. Just coagulated greatness, just sitting down there at the bottom of the.
Yeah. But you know what's so great about Richard's point is, and it's a very underrated point, and you know, we do this on this show. We bring this stuff out. Man, when you look at these, let's stay with the defensive line rotation for a second. Man, 95% of those guys drafted. Not free agent acquisition. Not that you went out and overpaid, because you're always overpaid in free agent. Always. 100% of the time. And that's been a Cowboy kind of staple in philosophy. Since, you know, Stephen really just started kind of, you know, having more of a voice in the room, is that, you know, we weren't, and we saw that manifest itself when they didn't like pay for DeMarcus Murray, right? Like they're not going to, you know, overpay, even though he was a Cowboys guy. But man, the draft, and even by Will McClay's own standard, by his own admission, he had kind of an off draft, was it 2 years ago? I mean, he even came out and said, you know what, I really, you know, that was kind of a down year for me on my game. But man, when you look at this room again, I've said the names multiple times, the Watkins, the Bashams, you know, it's like, man, who are these guys? Where are they coming from? These guys, and then you go back, you know, obviously Gregory, Parsons, D-Law, all these guys are drafted. This is a monster that was, you know, created internally. And that too, when you look at teams that have had sustained success, the Patriots, the Steelers, Green Bay, a lot of those guys have terrific success because they're doing it right from the draft room. And Dallas has done that. And speaking of which, man, were y'all encouraged to see like this year's second round draft pick at quarterback have a pretty solid game last week? Kevin Douglas. I thought he was solid, man. I mean, you saw flashes of, you know, of what that possibly could be. It's like, wait a minute. Because you know, he's a cornerback with size, range, tackles well. It's like, wait a minute, we get this dude kind of step in, because they really want him to see the field because he's second round pick. So you really projecting for him to be on one side and Diggs on the other. Now you're really talking about locking some things down if he can step into his potential and play. But I thought it was real nice to see a second round draft pick, since we're on the draft pick vein, step up and play well in that big win last weekend on defense. But
I feel like last night. It's so good.
Last night. It was so great. But I think that's a great point, man. Will McClay, the genius, you know, I call him the Quincy Jones of this thing, man. You know
man, that's a hell of an endorsement.
Putting all these pieces together, man. You know, finding that right side, finding that right musician, finding that right vocalist, is making it all come together and create this beautiful piece of music. I think he's our Quincy Jones, man, for real. So,
and I'm gonna remind y'all hit the like button. Who else? What other podcasts for the Cowboys giving y'all defensive breakdowns the entire stream, and it's not boring? Because everybody else talking about Dak, everybody else talking about Zeke, everybody else talking about Amari, CD Lamb. We know what's on that side.
We know about them already.
Everybody, and you know this, man. We giving you the defensive part, the part nobody want to talk about. Not in short form. Everybody kind of, the defense playing great. How they playing great? We breaking this down for the whole show.
Breaking it down, baby.
They got to at least give us a like. Y'all can hit the super chat. You can hit the Cash App. Y'all see it on the bottom. We giving it to y'all like for real, man. Because we didn't plan this. We didn't plan this, but we feel the need to keep, accentuating a part of our football team is making us special. So I do want to point it out as we go forward. I hope you guys are receiving it the same way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And let's matter of fact, let's take that and, if we can, spell the segue on how Dallas will attack Arizona's defense. Where you guys see is it more the same? I personally, I think the B should be commended for big time for what happened last week, because he made the conscious decision to go up tempo, I think, Series 2, and never took his foot off the gas. And I think that allowed Dak and company to play without hesitation, to play more proactively instead of reactively, and he just didn't think about it a lot. They just let it rip, and it just kind of flowed from there. But I think pace is everything. Do you see the Bees continuing that against this defense this week? Is it just like, this is how we're going to attack them, or is it modified a little bit?
Well, I think overall, as a unit, just from what I've seen, the Arizona defense is a very smart defense. They don't give a lot of big plays. They don't make a lot of stupid mistakes. They don't have a lot of penalties. Even though they're a pretty young unit, they're very solid. They don't give you a lot of opportunities to just totally toast them, right? So you have to build your game plan. I always think, actually, most of y'all that in case you don't know, the first 3 drives are usually what they call the script. So the first 3 drives, they go through practice and say, hey, drive 1, we're going to do this, and this. Drive 2, we're going to do this, and this. Drive 3, we're going to do this, and this. This is what they build that script based on what they see on film, right? And then if it's working, great. We're going to go with what we did: drive 1, drive 2, or drive 3, or some combination. If none of it's working, we're going to scrap this shit and we're going to go with something else. So I hope that they took the time to really build out a script that I think focuses on the short passing game. Run the football. Run the football. Don't get, like I said, we've been saying this for 16, 17 weeks now. Don't get cute. Run the football. Line it up. We're more physical than they are up front, even though they got some hell of talent. Chandler Jones, man.
Yes, sir.
He's one of those guys you say his name. And I don't have to anything else. Chandler Jones.
Yeah.
You know anything about football? You know about Chandler Jones. The rookie Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. Oh man, I was salivating over that guy in the draft. I ain't gonna lie, and he's delivering,
fitting the bill.
He's everything that we thought he was gonna be. He's one of those hybrid guys. Could play. He could drop into safety. He play inside, outside, sideline to sideline guy.
He got some Micah Parsons to his game.
Right.
Very versatile.
Very versatile.
Very versatile.
So, yeah. Oh yeah.
I got a comment for y'all. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you guys don't like this. So the Penalty Studio says, brothers, y'all are so on point for every perspective. This coming from a guy that's done television production for over 30 years. This is a great show. He says, everyone watching this needs to like, share, or turn the notifications button for this podcast. It's worth doing. Boy, you dropped me. I got to get my soundboard together, man. That's
Come on, Pat.
That's my guy, man. So, like I said, me and Pig go back about 35 years now, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, Pig graduated a couple years after me in high school, man. And he's been doing his thing. I've done some stuff.
My very brief dalliance as far as doing stuff in the media came because of my man Byron Pendleton that owns Pendleton Studio. So this is a guy that knows his game, knows his stuff. As a matter of fact, Rich, I achieved a lifelong dream, man, doing play-by-play for the basically the conference championship game in the women's professional football for the Dallas Elite. So
yeah.
So this is the guy that produced the
show. This is the guy that came to me with no experience at D Brown. I think he can do this, and I'm like, all right. So
got on the mic, man, and what was that, 2015, and it's been on since. But yeah, man, that's to get that kind of endorsement from a guy who's been in the game, much like yourself, Rich, from the broadcast perspective, man, and from the production side of things. That's love, man. That's love, man. Everybody on this show, I think I can speak for, man. We really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. You chop it up offline because
yes, sir.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
this is just the beginning.
Yes,
this is the first shot. Yeah. This is the first shot at the bar. This ain't 9th to 10th shot.
Yeah,
we still sober right now.
We still sober.
We still sober. Right. We ain't get drunk yet. So just imagine what's going to happen a couple years down the line.
Yeah, and me and Rich were talking a little bit off camera about this, how this show came about. I think me and Darren did the first show together, and I was just like, man, I just saw these Cowboy shows. I'm like, man, we can do this, like, because we've been doing this forever in hoop jargon, just with talking. I was like, man, I know both of y'all well. I know y'all personalities well. I was like, man. So me and Darren was on it first. Now I was like, let's get Rich in here. And then he was down, so it just was so organic since week 3, I believe, when we was all together. Yeah, so. This has been great. Go ahead.
So I like Richard's point about attacking and being smart, playing team strength, short passing game, a lot of run game, set up that play, that lethal play action, and do what we do. But in doing those things, I like to do those things again with tempo. I think tempo is demonstrated to work with this team, and it was kind of a cool thing to see because when he went up tempo, I don't know if it happened with y'all, but for me, I was like, you know what? It really hadn't done that in a while. And you got that flash of what had us so hyped weeks 1 through 6, 7. You know, they were doing those things like short passing game, you know, grinding it with Zeke a little bit, you know, hitting you with the sizzle with our man Tony Pollard and set up the quick play action, the slants, over the middle stuff with Schultz and CD work in the middle of the field. It's like, okay, this is the Beeve. This is the Beeve offense that we saw first 7 weeks. Speaking of which, did y'all see the drop down that he is going to interview?
The
Beeve shot.
Beeve reference.
The Beeve. I just saw during the show that the drop down that Kellen Moore is going to interview for the Jags head coaching job.
I think this is more of a this is coming out. But Dan Quinn's been around the block. Kelly, you need to get the interviews under you, just so you know expectation, you know what's out there. You'd be a damn fool to take that job. But I mean, you don't know his aspirations. Maybe he just want to be a head coach. We don't know.
But I think he's smart enough to know to wait till the end of the season and look at all the options that are available to him. Because there's going to be other jobs that come available. Chicago's going to be one. Probably Houston, which is a terrible job, but I'm pretty sure, you know, they might move on. So there's going to be other options out there. You know, I think he should just look at all the cards on the table and, you know, select the right one. Select the right team that fits, you know, his mantra. So we're just going to appreciate him while he's here, man.
No doubt, man.
But if there's any NFL teams listening, Mike McCarthy is available. We'll make him available. And like I said, I think we texted talking about this. Our plan is we'll leave the head coaching position vacant. We'll take that salary and split it between the Beeve and Quinn and let the two of them co-coach the team. That's our plan.
I'm here for it. I'm here for that. I'm here for that, man. Because I'm a fan of them both. And they provided subjective evidence for me and for us, I believe, to be fans of them both, man. I love what both of them have brought from not only an execution and style standpoint, but just what they built. And this is such an important word, and we've touched on it multiple times in this show, culture. They have, you know, we even with the 14 team and the 16 team, they had successful seasons from a record standpoint, but there really wasn't an identifying culture that they had on the two teams. That was one of those teams was 13-3 team. But this team has an identity. This team has you know, there's a culture as fans, and even from the casual affiliate standpoint, you can see it. You can see that there's something here, and again, it's a credit to those guys, and even to an extent, even though we're not the biggest fans of Mike McCarthy, but it's on his watch.
On his watch,
you know, he would get the criticism that they saw.
Absolutely.
No,
we just need him to stay out of their way.
There you go. And you
way out of
the
the way.
You know, I think he's been smart enough to do that for the most part. Because I think you've seen him do these things. So, you know, I just hope these guys, man, can keep it going from the standpoint of what they have momentum-wise into the playoffs, man, and see this thing through and get to the bowl, man. I mean, because I haven't said this in decades, you know, that I actually thought this team had what it took on both sides of the ball to finish the deal. I think this team does. I think that this team doesn't do that, I don't have any problem. I'll stand on this. I think if the team doesn't do that, then I think it's a much bigger disappointment from, say, the 14 and 16 teams, because I think that they have more talent and the expectation is more justified this year, just because of that talent and just because of what they have coordinating that talent.
Especially the defensive side, yeah. We never could really say that. I mean, and me and Darren last year, we flirted with the idea of the last game of the season, which I won't say. If we brought in Earl Thomas with the personnel that we had, we flirted with the idea that could possibly be an opportunity, as it were. Didn't quite happen that way. So obviously that going down, the season went how it went. Even after that great Falcons game that kind of had everybody hopes up. You know, it didn't shake out that way. But to juxtapose what you're saying that year, which is last year, with again bringing Dontari Poe in, bringing Gerald McCoy, forget the other defensive lineman we brought in, Quinn, yeah. So we ain't that this year. We a whole different entity. We ain't that at all.
Right.
So it does leave room for optimism in that capacity, not like affiliate optimism where you just think every year we're gonna take it no matter who on the on the roster. It feels different, you know what I mean? Because it is different. So I do want to point that out as we go forward, that we're not just saying, the last game of the year, we going there. We're just saying it's a possibility based on what we see.
Let me say that. We've been very blessed with some fortunate luck over the past 5 years or so. Think about this for a second. What if Kellen Moore had beat Cooper Rush for the backup job back in 2018, I think? 2019? What if he had beat him for the backup quarterback?
He'd still be playing.
I mean, that's give us a thought, because he's only, I think, 32, 33.
Yeah, he's young. He's a young guy.
He's still young. So he low-key, he could have, he didn't have talent. Thank goodness he sucked as a quarterback. He's great.
Yeah, he's
as a coordinator, but he could legitimately, he's at the age where he could be our backup quarterback. Man, we got lucky that the football guys said, no, this is not in the plans for you. Give me that helmet, take this clipboard, get your ass in that film room, and this is what you're gonna be doing moving forward. So you got to give him credit to admit too, because some guys hang around for too long.
Oh yeah,
and they keep trying to make teams, and he's like, okay, I got beat by Cooper Rush. That's my sign. It's time to go and then focus on something else. And he followed his calling. So.
I think it's high self-awareness, though. It's very high self-awareness. I will give him that. Which
there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's not meant to be a starting quarterback or a backup quarterback or even on a roster.
Absolutely,
it's hella hard.
Yeah, and just think about that. So it makes me thinking, peer into his mind about how he's viewing this interview situation too.
Right,
heightened sense of self-awareness. So maybe he's marketing himself to get paid more, or maybe he's lobbying to be the head coach. We saw this with Jason Garrett.
I'm here for it.
Doing that to
here for all of that.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'll take it. So you mentioned luck, and which brings us to our second to last segment.
Yes.
It's gonna be
the
Lucky Whitehead Award, baby. Everybody's favorite part of the show. Lucky Whitehead Award. Yeah, Lucky out. Yeah, you're out, Lucky. All right, last one gets the Giants. We'll start with you, Rich. Who is your Lucky Whitehead Award recipient?
We're gonna have a 2-time Lucky Whitehead winner. I know one of you guys gave him an award earlier this season. I want to say it was the game that Parsons out. My Lucky Whitehead Award goes to Corey Clement for the block punt, because that was one hell of a. He got off the snap. It was perfect. It was we were already shifting the momentum of the game at that point, but that to me, that was the nail in the coffin. Like, it took any win they could have had in their sales out immediately. So, hell of a job, Corey Clement. I love what he brings on special teams. He's one of those guys that if he gets on the field, he's going to try to make something happen. That's the kind of guy you want to keep on your roster. He did a great job of substituting for Pollard and giving Zeke a spell, and I'm glad we got him on this football team.
Done deal.
That's a good call, there, man.
What you got, Darren Brown?
Man, I'm going to go with QB1, man.
Okay.
Because he had clearly been in a funk for
several weeks, raising questions, justified questions about his mindset, his confidence, his health, combination of the three. Clearly was not as sharp as the QB1 we had seen through the first 7 weeks of the season. But wherever it clicked, whether it's speeding up the pace or what have you, to have that kind of half in a game that not only was wanting to be seen internally, but every fan wanted to see and started to feel good about this thing going to the playoffs. And he comes out and does that, in a half. Yeah, that's played so well to the point where he's on the bench in the third quarter. And you think about it, but all the justified criticism that he had received for the 5 weeks previous, to come out and play that type of game in this situation, then play so well to the point that he's on the quarter, even on the bench, not in the end of the third quarter, like 7-8 minutes left in the third quarter. He was done.
Right.
That's huge, man, for him because, and that's always my faith in that. Like somewhere he'll right the ship. The kid's got a mental fortitude that you really, I think, all the good to great and elite quarterbacks have, and he showed that. So he gets my lucky, this week to come out and have that kind of performance after having a really tough 5 weeks and very inconsistent 5 weeks prior to.
Fair enough. I'll go with that. Shout out to the Poke B Frank, man. Great YouTuber, man. Y'all hit his channel up, man. Says shout out to Hoop Jargon. Appreciate that. He skips a little forward. Say Cowboys lose to Tampa Bay at the NFC Championship. Well, we gotta get there first. We gotta get there first.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
No doubt. We gotta get there.
I want to get there. All right. So my lucky Whitehead Award winner, I gotta give it to D-Law, man. D-Law bumbled. Made it to the end zone, down there, fumbled at the end. He got stripped at the end, but
I'm gonna get the Leon Lett. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, it looked very Leon Lettish.
Yeah, Lettish.
Very Leon Lettish.
But I love this new culture of the tip interception from the D ends. I don't know where they started. It looked more or less a hybrid of J.J. Watt blocking the passes. So now they take it to the next level of blocking it and intercepting it.
Right.
So I'm loving that. Like that is a new wrinkle that I don't know what's going on with this.
That's the Dan Quinn culture. Get the ball. It's your ball.
I'm loving that, man. That to me is something you don't see a lot of. And now, again, with the copycat thing that we talked about, that seems to be what they want to do, turn the ball over. Because now the reputation is we turn the ball over. So I loved every second of that. I didn't love the run back so much, but he got in the end zone. So
he made it.
That boy tripped over the chalk. On the inside.
Yeah, he did. Did you is that the third one of those that Giannis has had this year? That's just a quick.
I know it was two.
Because Watkins had one.
I don't know if it's three.
Oh, Randy Gregory had one too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
He didn't take it all the way to the house though, I don't think.
I want to say Terrell Basham, Carlos Watkins, and now D-Law.
Did Randy Gregory have one? Yeah, Gregory had one. He blocked it and intercepted it.
He was a scoop and scorer, right?
I thought Gregory blocked it and intercepted it.
He may have, man, but I want to say Dallas has had. Hell, if they've had two, that's incredible. They've had three, man. Where you've had linemen playing, in passing situations, tipping the ball to themselves, and then making a play to score afterwards, man. So it's 2, 3, whatever the case may be. It's still a testament to Richard's point. That's the Dan Quinn. Just coaching that up, man. I mean, just putting it in their head, and now it's a culture, and now it's the thing that they're expecting, they're looking for, the opportunity to make those plays, man. So just keep it going, man. But that's a good call. I think it's a good call on all three Lucky Whitehead Award recipients for this week because I think they all deserve it.
Thank God the Tampa 2 is gone.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that again.
You're not a fan of Tampa 2 defense, man?
No.
Yeah, man. So Lucky Whitehead Award, man, I know this is y'all favorite part of the show. It's my favorite part of the show. So at least it's my favorite part. So we gotta get Lucky on this show, man. So if y'all know Lucky Whitehead, hit him up, tell him he is a staple on this show here. We gotta have him on here.
If you don't know the history, Lucky Whitehead, look him up too.
Yeah, look very dynamic player, man.
He's out there balling out there to CFL too.
Yes, he is.
He made the all-star. I think it's an all-star team, it's an all-pro team out there. So he's out there. He's having a hell of a season out there with the BC Lions.
Yeah, very dynamic player. Like I said,
explain the Lucky Whitehead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for those of us that are true Cowboys fans, we recall I think it's 102-yard kick return that Lucky had, and if you recall that game, it changed the entire scope of the whole game. So we give the Lucky Whitehead Award every week to the guy who makes some type of contribution that changes the tide of the game. So that's where the Lucky Whitehead Award comes from. So,
even just something obscure like something that
Google Lucky Whitehead kick return. You watch the film, you'll see. If you recall that game, it was his kick return that it changed the whole dynamic of that game. So,
Indeed.
Yeah, it can kind of morph a little bit. It could be something, just a play that just, like we said, changes the climate, or just something that went under the radar a little bit. Because look, he was our king of that jet sweep. He was doing all that.
Oh Lord,
stuff that Darren loves so much. You know what I mean?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So it's just an unsung hero for the most part. I mean, not the obvious player of the game, unless the game was just kind of stale and just something that jumped out at you. But to me, that's what Lucky was, the guy that jumped out at you when he made a big play. It was a guy. It's not an every down guy per se, but then he made a good play, and like, oh, okay, Lucky out there doing his thing. You see them red dreads go as he doing them. So it's more or less a coagulation of what Rich said, and plus, we can sprinkle a little bit of other stuff on it as well.
Right.
All right, so let's bring us to the conclusion of the show. Let's talk about predictions, man. Where do we see this game going? What are some of the game? Well, you know what time it is. The score predictions. What you got?
Man, I'll jump it off.
I think it's going to be a little.
When you got
a guy like Kyler, I mean, yeah, they're missing a big weapon in D-Hop, but like to Rich's point, they have a smart defense, a defense that'll give up a lot of plays. I think it's incumbent upon Dallas to stay patient, even if they play an up-tempo pace. Do what they do, take what they give them, be efficient, commit to running the football, commit to the short passing game to get guys like Parsons and guys like CD out in space so they can make plays after they catch the football. That said, and this defense be what the Dallas defense has been, pressuring, creating turnovers, being opportunistic, and getting the ball when it's there to be had. So that said, I think it'll be a fairly tight contest. I think Dallas breaks it open late. I'm going to go Dallas. Dallas 31.
Cardinals 21.
Okay. All right. I'll go. Or if you want to go, Rich, go ahead.
No, you go.
All right, so I'm gonna put the burger away, man. Even though the burger snuck its way into the equation, I won't bring the burger out this week. I think the Cardinals have been beating bad teams lately and losing teams. Two teams they should have. Not scoring a lot of points. The last time scoring 30 was against the Bears, which the Bears. Before then, it was way up like week 6. I want to say they lost to. No, they beat the 49ers, scoring 31. But obviously, that's with DeAndre Hopkins being in the mix. So I don't expect them to put a lot of points on the board. Even though Kyler's going to look good in some spaces, I think we're just so disciplined. I'm not afraid of him at all. Last year, I'd have been afraid for my life. But we just being honest. So with that being said, I think our offense have kind of got that, the slump buster, as it were. Sometimes you got to go knock on somebody's door who ain't so attractive, and you got to get back right, if you know what I mean. I think Dallas got back right. And so now your confidence back up. You know who you are again. And so I'm predicting 35 Dallas, 17 Arizona.
Okay. I expect I like I said, as we talked about, I think more of the mindset is slow and steady wins the race. Therefore, I don't expect as much scoring. Honestly, from either team, I expect it to be sort of a sparring match, so to speak, until maybe later on when they both teams feel more comfortable and take more shots. One of the unsung heroes, I think, for the Cowboys could actually be Cliff Kingsbury, because he is a guy that I've been very open of my criticism of him ever since he was at Texas Tech. He is not the guy that you want to make a critical decision. He's an unpopular Jason Garrett, and I have no words about saying it. I expect a tight game going to into the fourth quarter, but I'm going to go Cowboys put up one more and put it away in the fourth quarter, so I'll go 24-10 Cowboys.
24-10. I like it. And you know what? I want to add towards what you're saying. That's kind of football they've been playing. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of drinking some of the last week's Kool-Aid, man. That if we can be that, we should dust them off, in my opinion. Because I went conservative last week, and then we ripped him a new, you know what. So that's what my mind, man. Because I want to go what you said.
It could happen because, Cliff Kingsbury is the kind of guy who would go for it on like 4th and 3 inside his own 30.
Yeah,
and they turn the ball over there and give up a quick score. Like
it's like Mike McCarthy.
Dumb stuff that he does. I don't care about their record. People are talking about his record. I believe in the second half of the season, I think he's like 8-21 or some god awful number like that after week 8. Wow. And a lot of those games have been Cliff Kingsburyisms. So if it's a close game where he's got to make critical decisions, I like our chances.
No doubt.
Hope that is.
I'll end that, man, by saying we'll see consistency in the way, because we talked about all year. What does this team look like if they put a complete game together, regardless of the opponent? Because we hadn't seen it. Because they played
nasty.
They played, some substandard teams throughout the season. They played some decent ones. They played some guys, but they still didn't put whoever that was in front of them. They didn't put a complete game together. And we asked for weeks. What does this team look like if they played well in all 3 phases? We got a glimpse of that last week. I want more of that. Right. I mean, I want if last week was a glimpse of what this team looks like playing a complete football game, then sign me up for 2 cases of it. I mean, I want more of that. And that's my hope is hopefully last week was a trend that manifests itself going into the playoffs, and once they get there, playing that type of football, because that team, that version of the Dallas Cowboys, I don't give a damn who you put in front of them. That's
hard. That's rough to deal with.
Damn hard to beat that team.
Yeah.
It's going to be damn hard to beat that version of that team. So hope they can take this and the next ass up for whipping is the Cardinals. Let's get it.
That's what I was saying, D Brown. Like last week, we was talking about should we play Dak, and I was just like, man, I want the record to go in and all that, but I want us to be on a higher trajectory, man. Like I got to see Dak out there comfortable again. And last week was all I wanted, plus more, plus a little something on top of it, man. So I have to say that exceeded my expectation of what I wanted to see from that team, no matter if it's the Giants, whatever. That I needed to see the cohesion, and if we can get more of that, like you say, give me 3 cases of that.
April says there will be another Cowboys defensive score. I think it's very likely.
Take my money right now.
Shut up and take my money.
Right. Take my money right now. We're gonna get that because we literally begged for that on this show all year. Defense play well, offensive sputter, or vice versa, whatever part of the season you want to pick. What they look like, they put it all together. We got a glimpse last week, man. Take my money.
Take my money.
Card. Take my money, because if we doing that, then sign me up, because I already talk a lot of noise.
April says there will be another Cowboys defensive score. If you get to Kyler Murray, he will make some mistakes.
Yes.
If you can get to him, if you can hit him, if you can make him play from the pocket, he will make some mistakes. It's when he's on the run, when he's scrambling, when he's creating, that's when he's dangerous. So we got 11 focused on that. We got the guys on the edge to bring the pressure. Let's keep him inside that bubble. He doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Let's let him pretend that he has DeAndre Hopkins. We got the equalizer back there. Mr. Diggs would be very happy to get number 12 today.
So, is Christian Kirk out there for them?
What's that?
Is Christian Kirk, is he out there for the Cards?
I think he is playing today.
Yeah.
Let me check injury report.
The one guy that you have to worry about that can get consistent separation and whatnot, even out in the pattern today since D Hop is out.
Right. Zach Ertz is going to eat. Zach Ertz is, he's a damn good tight end. He's going to get his. We need to.
He should be playing. Christian Kirk should be playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, stay tight to him. Get the ball when it comes. Make a play. That's what they've been doing.
Right.
There you go. Between games,
put an helmet in Kyler Murray's chest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're playing at Jerry World, so this will be a home game for the Cowboys.
Game of the year.
Yep.
I hope they got the memo. I hope they understand that the playoffs started last week. If you're gonna wait until the playoffs start to play playoff football, then you're already too late.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs began last week.
And I do want to say James Conner is questionable, so which means he'll probably play, but he may be a little banged up. So maybe my fear that he getting the run game off will be decimated. With that news book, who knows? We in the questionable range. It could be anything, man. It could be freaking anything. So Great show, gentlemen.
So guys,
y'all ain't say
that, man. It was awesome. Love y'all to death, man. Smash that like. Tell your partners, tell your homeboy them. Tell your baby mamas, tell your side piece. Tell everybody.
Tell them.
Tell your favorite barbecue joint, car dealer, notary, doorman, whatever. You can have your face in the place instead of us being sponsored by no damn body.
There we go. Y'all put that message out there, man. And so thank y'all for patronizing the show. Good luck, Cowboys. Good luck to your team in the NFL. I hope y'all enjoy what's going on. Penalty Studio says, great show. We appreciate that, my brother. And, oh, yeah, we were almost about to end the show.
Hey, Penn, this is another staple.
The New Year off without it?
This is New Year. Cowboys playing well, carry this momentum. Hey, let's finish. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Ooh.
Salute.
There we go.
And we what you got? All right. Appreciate y'all. And we are out, man. Thank y'all so much for being part of the show. Kendrick Perkins, bring us home to glory.
Hoop Sharky, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Sharky. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Sharky.
Shout out to Hoop Sharky.